Netflix stock crash. For a while, Netflix seemed like the absolute king of the hill, the name you thought of when it came to the term streaming service. But life comes at you fast. News broke recently that Netflix lost 200,000 global subscribers in the first quarter of the year. As a result, the company's stock price plummeted 35%. It is the latest massive miss from the large technology company and has sparked a flurry of fight-back efforts. But can the streaming service really carry on growing forever? And do its plans for the future show confidence or panic? So in today's video, we are going to talk about the surprising Netflix stock crash and how did it happen? What are the business impacts it can have? And most importantly, how can Netflix bounce back, improve, and learn the lessons? So it's going to be an exciting video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Without further ado, let's hop into the video. It all started with Netflix getting cozy and not paying attention to the smallest details. Street analysts have been expecting such stock crash long ago, expecting about 2.5 million new customers, and were stunned when the company, instead of confirmed more, had canceled then joined. Around the world, Netflix has 222 million subscribers. In its biggest markets, however, it has an appreciable portion of all households, and in the US and Canada, 75 million out of a total of 142 million households have a subscription to Netflix. When you add in password sharing, which Netflix says accounts for 30 million additional households using the service in North America, it becomes clear the company is fighting for new signups from a rapidly shrinking pool of non-subscribers. Netflix spent years telling investors that the fact that Disney, Hulu, HBO, Paramount, Peacock, Apple, Amazon, and many more competitors were following in its footsteps, and crucially, taking stuff that used to run on Netflix and running it on their own services was fine. Now the company says it turns out that people are watching some of these other streaming services too. But again, those competitors aren't just a problem because they're trying to take away Netflix customers' time and subscriber dollars. They're also a problem because they're taking away content Netflix used to have. In the old days, Hollywood was willing to let Netflix have tons of its old TV shows and movies because it didn't think many people wanted to pay to stream the stuff on the internet. Now, the big film and TV companies have figured out they were wrong. So they have taken back a lot of the stuff they used to run on Netflix and put it on their own services. Friends is on HBO Max, for instance. The Office is on Peacock, and Disney content is on Disney+. And more crucially, they are competing with Netflix for new projects. Netflix has seen a lot of valuable content disappear, while at the same time, it has gotten harder to find great new projects. The news certainly isn't good, but it also isn't as bad as it might appear at first glance. In the fine print of the investor's letter, management provided details of the suspension of its operations in Russia, which played a pivotal role in the quarter's subscriber decline. Netflix management acknowledged the ongoing challenges and is exploring various measures to reignite its subscriber growth. The primary focus will be on increasing the quality of its programming and recommendations, but the company is also investigating ways to combat password sharing and working to continue its expansion in international markets. Given its dramatic slowdown in subscriber growth, investors are certainly justified in wondering whether Netflix's growth story is winding down. Management said it expects to return to and sustain double-digit percentage revenue growth and remain free cash flow positive in 2022 and beyond. Every streaming platform needs two key ingredients in order to succeed. It needs to have a robust catalog of material that will keep people watching after they caught up on the latest buzzy hit. People might sign up to Netflix for Russian Doll or Inventing Anna, but they'll stick around to watch When Harry Met Sally and maybe stream a season of New Girl. But more importantly, a streaming site needs buzzworthy hits that attract attention and convince people to subscribe, at least for a month or two, so they can catch up on the latest show that everyone is talking about. That being said, don't underestimate the importance of a good catalog. When Netflix transitioned from a DVD by mail company to a streaming service in 2008, it began to develop a mass audience on the back of other companies' content. While Hulu and HBO were around, Netflix was the main player. So Sony, Warner, and Disney licensed their TV shows and films to the streaming service. Over time, reruns of The Office and Friends became hugely popular with younger millennials and Generation Z, and were far more popular on Netflix than any of the channel's original material. Netflix has been increasing its monthly fee sharply around the world, with some UK subscribers now paying a third more than they were less than 2 years ago for the same service. But the company says it has been happy with the results, saying the rises remain significant revenue positive, and thinks it still has among the best retention in the industry. Netflix also points out, were it not for the war in Ukraine, it would actually have gained subscribers. It suspended service in Russia, losing over 700,000 subscribers in the process. Netflix plans to spend $18 billion on programming this year. To put that in perspective, that's roughly equal to the budget for 60 of the most expensive movies ever made. Netflix makes more than movies, of course, but $18 billion seems excessive, especially for content that lives almost entirely on Netflix itself, rather than in movie theaters or cable networks. The company ramped up content spending for years, arguing that more content drove subscription growth, but the strategy now appears to have reached its endpoint. Netflix has long resisted advertising, as co-CEO Reed Hastings has said he prefers the simplicity of the company's subscriber model. But with subscriber growth stagnating, the company looks ready to change course. It would help the company combat the challenges it's facing with password sharing, and the ad tier model has been proven to work elsewhere. Hulu, for example, makes about the same in revenue from its subscriptions that it does from ad-free subscriptions. Diversifying revenue streams also seems like a smart move, especially if subscriber growth no longer seems reliable. Advertisers are likely eager to get on Netflix, which has a unique reach with more than 200 million global subscribers and in-depth knowledge of their viewing habits. One long-time challenge for Netflix has been its recommendation engine. Every user gets a set of different movies and TV shows displayed to them when they log in, but Netflix isn't always so good at finding something you want to watch. Users regularly complain that there's no good on the service, and its massive library tends to get lost in the menu that shows comparatively few choices. It's been years since Netflix introduced a major product change, and it seems long overdue. Improving recommendations may not be easy, but it's a problem well worth tackling. In order for Netflix to provide value, the only two things it really needs is to create content users want to watch and make it easy for them to find it. Management seemed to think that this would take a year or two to get these changes in place to re-accelerate subscriber growth, so a turnaround won't be sudden. But Netflix clearly isn't standing still. Netflix estimates 100 million households globally access its services through password sharing. For years, it has tactically allowed the practice, which functions as an effective discount, even building it into pricing structure with tiers of memberships that allow for more devices streaming simultaneously. But now, it has started experimenting with stricter controls to try to turn some of those additional households into customers in their own right. Particularly because, unlike homes that are not subscribed to Netflix at all, those shared users definitely have the right technology to use their service. In trials in some South American countries, Netflix has simply started to ask subscribers to pay a small additional fee, about $3 a month, if they share their services with people outside their household. Even with this quarter's loss and next quarter's loss, Netflix will have 219 million subscribers, way more than any of its competitors, and Netflix is no longer burning $1 gazillion a year and asking Wall Street to lend it more, so it won't have a problem financing new shows and movies to show its remaining customers. But if it wants to find new subscribers and keep the ones it has, it will have to find shows they really like, and that is going to be harder than ever. I hope you enjoyed our video, and if you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay notified about our uploads.